This is the deepest place on Earth, nearly 11,000 m down, no sunlight, crushing pressure, and we know almost nothing about it. But now one country is racing to explore these depths, and not just for science. China is deploying fleets of deep-sea robots, building underwater bases, and quietly moving to claim what lies at the bottom, before anyone else came as the US guts. Its ocean research programs. China is diving deeper, moving faster, and investing more aggressively than any nation in history. So what exactly is down there, and why is so determined to get it first? To find out, we spent weeks digging through Chinese research news reports. What we found points to a much bigger story, and almost nobody is talking about it before we can grasp the full scale of what's happening. We need to pull back and understand where we are. This is the Mariana Trench, a massive underwater canyon in the western Pacific, just east of the Philippines. It is the deepest part of the ocean and one of the most extreme and hard-to-reach places on Earth to get to the bottom. You have to travel through the ocean's entire water column. Let's dive down. We start at the surface. The photic zone, also called the epipelagic zone here. It's warm and bright, filled with coral reefs, schools of fish, and everything you think of when you picture the ocean. This is the part we swim. Surf and snorkeling, but this familiar only goes down about 200 meters. Go deeper is the twilight zone, stretching from 200 to 100 meters below the surface. Sunlight slowly fade to near darkness. As you descend, the pressures like the oarfish, animal size, or evolving soft, flexible bodies that won't collapse under pressure. The deeper you go, the stranger, the midnight zone. Total darkness is what the creatures make themselves a natural glow, known as bioluminescence animals. Here look like something from a sci-fi movie with glowing lures. This horrific creatures in the dark nightmare fuel pressure on every square inch of your body. That's like a full-grown elephant pressing down on your fingertips. One of the most well-known creatures from this zone is the blobfish in its natural habitat, at the upper end of the midnight zone. It looks like a normal deep-sea fish adapted perfectly to the intense pressure. But when it's brought to the surface, all that pressure disappears, and the blobfish expands into the gelatinous shape you might have seen online. The blobfish is a perfect picture of just how extreme the pressure is down here, and how life can adapt to survive it. But you keep thinking, and at 4 m you reach what's called the abyssopelagic zone, or simply the abyss. It's cold, dark, and quiet. Life is sparse but not absent. And here's where the barren seafloor might surprise you at first glance. It looks like playing boring mud, but that much is deceiving. Have you ever wondered what happened to everything in the ocean? When it dies, the fish, the sharks, even the tiniest plankton eventually, everything that lives above sinks. Some of it falls as waste, some as tiny particles digested and expelled by other creatures over time. It all builds up over millions of years. All this organic matter drifts down and settles onto the sea floor, a gentle snowfall known as marine snow layer by layer. It forms soft carbon-rich mud in some places. That mud is over a kilometer, thicky more than 300 feet, made from the remains of everything that once lived above. And while these layers preserve the ocean's history, they also trap carbon, turning the deep sea into one of the planet's most powerful natural carbon sinks. But even with all that, marine snow piling up, life down here is scarce. Most creatures survive on scraps adapted to a world where real food is hard to come by. But every so often something incredible happens. Something massive sinks, and when it does, it changes everything. This here is what scientists call a whale. Falls, the fish, the sharks. Even the tiniest plankton, eventually, everything that lives above, sinks. Some of it falls as waste. some as tiny particles digested and expelled by other creatures over time. It all builds up over millions of years. All this organic matter drifts down and settles onto the sea floor. A gentle snowfall known as marine snow layer by layer. It forms soft, carbon-rich mud in some places. That mud is over a kilometer, thicky more than 3.00 feet, made from the remains of everything that once lived above. And while these layers preserve the ocean's history, they also trap carbon, turning the deep sea into one of the planet's most powerful natural carbon sinks. But even with all that, marine snow piling up, life down here is scarce. Most creatures survive on scraps adapted to a world where real food is hard to come by. But every so often something incredible happens. Something massive sinks, and when it does, it changes everything. This here is what scientists call a whale falls.